Hey guys, it's Colton. How you doing today? Today's video, I'll be taking you on a trip to a sensory deprivation pod. I know a little grubby, don't be judging me. So that was my first time at a sensory deprivation pod, and it was definitely an experience. So basically the idea behind it is that once you're inside the pod, you close it, you can either keep on the lights or you can turn them off. If you turn them off, then it's supposed to be complete dark, and you're also not supposed to be aware of really any of your senses. So like you have earplugs to put in, you can't see, and the only thing that you can really feel is just like the water, but they tried to make it as close to your body temperature as possible. So even that, after a while, you can't really feel that. I didn't really know what to expect. I mean, I've looked up some things on it before, but I didn't really know how I would react in that situation. It's like an hour float session, so I just did the whole time in the dark, just floating there. Really weird, the water has a really high salt content in it. It was like 800 to 1,000 pounds of salt. So you completely float, you don't touch the bottom. I think it was, it's like 10 inches of water, which doesn't sound like a lot, but you still float regardless. It's really weird in the beginning trying to get used to it, because you would lie down and you assume kind of like a position when you're in your bed, and when you do that, your head is like supported by a pillow and like you're supported by the bed. So it's really weird not having as much resistance. So at first I assumed like a natural bed position, but I realized that my neck was hurting a little bit because I was holding it up. But after a while, like, you let your head go back, and the water, when you let your head go back, the water goes to like here, which feels really weird, but you know, I got used to it, and then it got pretty comfortable. I didn't know if I would fall asleep due to the like no seeing anything, no hearing anything, but you become really aware of like your heartbeat, your breathing. I was surprised that I wasn't expecting feeling the water. As I said, it's room temperature, so inside the water you can't feel it, but where your body is not completely in the water, then as you're breathing, you're like rising and sinking very minimally, but it's enough to make the water level move. And so I was really aware of that. I'm used to meditation, so I figured it'd be something like that, and it kind of was to an extent, but I actually couldn't get into like my usual like heightened consciousness state. I felt very distracted. I felt like I wanted to relax more than I actually could. I started to doze off like very briefly, but that didn't last very long. Overall, it was just really relaxing. I mean, you couldn't hear anything, you were just left like with your thoughts and just pondering life. I've seen videos where people get out and they're just like completely like, oh my god, like I just need a second, just got my senses back. I actually didn't feel that way at all. Like I just adapted like that, I guess. Like I stepped out and I was like, I didn't feel like things were too loud, I didn't feel like things were too bright, I just felt, I was like, oh, okay, I'm done, that's it. Overall, it was a very good experience. If anyone has a float center near to you, then I definitely recommend doing it. It definitely helps with like calming the soul, calming your mind. Apparently the first float session is the hardest for some people just because it takes some adjusting, but I'm not sure if I would do it again. I mean, I don't think I'd necessarily pay to do it again. If it was like given to me, then I'd be like, okay, yeah. Sure, I'll do it. Anyways, I hope you guys liked that little adventure with me. If you want to see more, then feel free to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!